Welcome, one and all, back to the Viper's Nest, where today we're asking some lore questions. So, recently, my children have discovered Pirates of the Caribbean, which, thank God, because if I had to take much more Octonauts, or Coco Melon, or Paw Patrol, I might have just lost what little I have left of my mind. But they've discovered Pirates, so they've been watching that a lot on repeat, which honestly I'm fine with. Those movies have their problems, sure, but they're still fun to watch. I actually enjoy them, so that's made my life a little bit better. But as us grown-ups tend to do upon repeated viewings of a media, we start to notice things and we start to ask questions. So today, we're going to be talking about this guy right here. Good old Captain Jack Sparrow, played by the always lovely Johnny Depp. So for all the questions people tend to ask about Jack Sparrow, from his, sword fighting skills to his so crazy that they have to work plans to his absolutely ridiculous improvisations, one thing that I've noticed almost nobody ever talking about is Jack Sparrow's absolutely superhuman levels of skill with marksmanship. So let me explain a little bit. So obviously Pirates of the Caribbean takes place during the golden age of piracy. And Jack Sparrow's weapon of choice appears to be what I think is a 50 caliber English flintlock pistol, which, let me fact check myself real quick, but I'm 99% sure that is a smoothbore pistol, and I will explain what that means in just a second. 50 caliber English flintlock pistol. Can you just give me the Wikipedia article real quick? Okay, yes, I'm right. The 50 caliber English flintlock is a smoothbore pistol. So, what does smoothbore mean for those who don't know? Well, if you Google a picture of the inside of a barrel of a modern firearm, which you should absolutely do instead of doing something really stupid like looking down the barrel of a modern firearm pistol, you will notice on the inside of the barrel a spiral engraving on the inside of said barrel, and that is what is called rifling. And rifling serves the purpose of putting a spin on the bullet in order to give it better accuracy. Now, back in the golden age of piracy, rifling on the barrel was not really a thing. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, rifling was actually invented sometime in the 1500s, some 200 years before the golden age of piracy, but it didn't really become a thing on most firearms until I think 20 or 30 years after the golden age of piracy came to an end. So rifled firearms were not a thing. So Jack's pistol would not be rifled. The muskets used by the British, which I'm 99% sure were the Brown Bess type muskets, were also smoothbore muskets. So rifling at the time was not a thing. So firearms back then were notoriously inaccurate for 3 reasons. 1, the lack of rifling. 2, the shape of the projectile, which back then they fired balls instead of the conical bullets that we have today. And 3, the ball ammunition was not perfectly fitted to the barrels they were being fired out of, so they wouldn't have gotten much out of rifling even if they had been a snug fit. And that also led to the fact that when fired, the ball ammunition would actually bounce around inside the barrel of the musket, which just further decreased its accuracy. So, firearms, back in the golden age of piracy, really not all that accurate. And you can see it in the tactics of the time, which is where you get things like volley fire, which you actually see the British troops doing quite a bit, where they would all line up nice and neat and then fire their muskets all at once, because the thinking was, well, if the bullets aren't accurate, then the obvious solution is fire more bullets. So, let's talk about some of the feats of marksmanship that Jack pulls off during at least the first three movies. I haven't watched the fourth and fifth one all that much, so I can't remember if Jack really does a lot of shooting in those movies, but I have seen the first three quite a bit. So, the first time we see Jack actually shoot his pistol is at the end of Curse of the Black Pearl, where he takes out Hector Barbossa, who is actually my favorite character in those movies. So Jack shoots Barbossa in the chest, essentially at conversation distance, and scores a heart shot. Is that impossible? From conversation distance, no. I mean, hitting a target the size of a grown man's torso at conversation distance, that's not exactly a huge feat of marksmanship. Scoring a perfect heart shot, yeah, I'd give that like a 50-50 chance of scoring a perfect heart shot. Not entirely out of the realm of possibility. So we'll call that one, that's confirmed. That could happen. The second time we see Jack shooting, he actually uses a musket rifle, and he shoots a falling barrel of gunpowder in order to attempt to blow up the Kraken. And he does this, I'm guessing something like, I'd have to go watch the movie again. We'll call it somewhere between 50 to 80 feet, I think. That it's essentially from the, what are they? I don't know boat names very well. The stern is the back, I think. So it's from the stern back near the freaking steering wheel, whatever the hell you want to call that thing, the helm, that's what it's called, to the middle of the ship. You know what? I could actually Google how long is the Black Pearl, and we can eyeball a distance. Shit, not the movie. Alright, so length is roughly 165 feet. So, damn it, I can't get, they're not showing me perfect measurements here. Looking at, alright, best guesstimate from the steering wheel to the middle. Okay, that's actually not, that doesn't look that far. We'll ballpark that at maybe 30 to 40 feet. Okay, 30 to 40 feet. So shooting a moving target the size of a small barrel of gunpowder at 30 feet on a ship that's being rocked by a Kraken. Definitely an impressive feat of marksmanship. I will say this one is plausible, I think. Nailing a perfect shot like that would be really, really hard, but not entirely undoable. And we do know that Jack does take a bit of time to, get his sights right and set up its aim. It's still not impossible, but with a musket, definitely difficult. So we'll rank that one at plausible. But then we get to the really impressive feat in, what is it? Tell No Tales? Because the second one is At World's End. It's At World's End. They're all starting to blur together at this point, sorry. So, Jack's shot at World's End. So it's during the final battle, the Black Pearl versus the Flying Dutchman, when everyone's scrambling to get the chest of Davy Jones to stab the heart. So, Jones and Jack are fighting up on the mast of the Flying Dutchman. And they're in a maelstrom. Both ships are getting sucked down into this black hole of water. There's wind, rain everywhere. It's in the middle of the storm. And Jack is swinging from a rope off of the mast in the middle of all this, pulls out his pistol, not a rifle, his pistol, and shoots the dead man's chest right out of Davy Jones's hand. This shot is absolutely ridiculous. He's working with a smoothbore pistol while swinging from a rope in a maelstrom while wind and seawater are hitting him in the face, and he shoots a tiny, tiny little chest out of Davy Jones's hand. I don't know if I can put into words how completely and utterly insane a shot like this is. So, pulling off this shot, even with a modern firearm, it would be hard to hit a target the size of Davy Jones, let alone a target as small as the chest he is holding. That is absolute god-tier marksmanship on Jack Sparrow's part. And the thing that bothers me most about this is not the shot, because, it's fun fantasy movie. The allowances need to be made, sure. But Jack's marksmanship skills, they're never even really addressed. I think the only hint we get as to why he can pull this off is that it's possibly hereditary, because earlier in the movie, during the council of the pirate lords, there's one of the guys, I think the Indian pirates, is he's talking mad shit about the pirate code, and out of nowhere he gets shot straight through the heart by Captain Teague, who is Jack's father. And Teague is probably like a good 70 to 80 feet away at that point. Granted, he was shooting from an elevated position, so that's good. But still, to be able to hit a shot like that from that kind of distance is really friggin' impressive. And I think Captain Teague was also using an English 50 cal. I might be able to find that real quick. Let me check. If I can type. Come on. There we go. All right. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Let's see here. Come on. No, this one is just listed under various flintlock pistols. Yeah, and the barrel's not even that long, so it wouldn't have been accurate even if it was rifled. Point is, Captain Teague, also an extremely accomplished marksman. So this is my, I guess, call out to Disney at this point. Look, yeah, we all know what went down with Johnny Depp, the trial, Amber Heard. We don't even need to get into that, but look, Johnny Depp was declared innocent. Everything's not fine, but you should bring Johnny Depp back as Captain Jack Sparrow. And look, even if you don't, which shame on you if you don't, but if you don't, and you do recast him and make a Pirates of the Caribbean 6, could you please give us some kind of answer as to why Captain Jack Sparrow is as amazing a marksman as he actually is? I mean, I'd appreciate it. That's been bugging me ever since my kids found these movies and I've watched them over and over and over again. I want to know why Captain Jack is such an insanely good shot, despite everything else about him saying that he shouldn't be. But, yeah, maybe sound off in the comments if anyone who watches this has, a reason they think Captain Jack might be as good of a shot as he is. Get that conversation going in the comments. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see some other people's perspectives on this. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. It's a bit of a short one today. I hope to be back to making longer ones fairly soon and more sunless skies. I want to get back to that. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening. A like and a subscribe would be appreciated. I'll see you on the next episode, and as always, have yourself a wonderful day.